Hey guys, I wanted to take a few moments to talk to the church family here this morning because this past week has been really difficult for so many people. Just a week ago, we were busy all complaining about and judging all of our neighbors who were and were not wearing masks and talking about phase one of Virginia Forward and all that. And then George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis, which was incredibly hard to watch. And as we were all processing the emotion of that, riots and protests started happening. Last night, Richmond was ugly. This morning, I walked over to the Daughters of Confederacy building and saw the graffiti and the broken windows. There were armed citizens sitting in front of the building, making sure nobody trespassed on private property. Things actually got pretty heated while I was there this morning, and the police were called. The difficulty for me, and really for all of us, is to know how to handle the emotions of all of this. I'm angry and sad about my city right now. I'm angry and sad about what we saw as police brutality this week. I'm angry and sad that the Black community has had to and continues to be the victims of so much injustice. I'm trying to process it all. I'm talking about it with my kids, and I'm guessing you are doing pretty much the same. As a pastor, I have heard all week long that as a white person, as a white pastor, my silence on this topic speaks volumes. I've also been told that now is not the time to speak, but it is the time to be silent and listen to the lament in the Black community. Honestly, it's pretty hard to know the right thing to do. It's hard to know how to speak, when to speak, and what to say. But I do feel like I need to say this. The scripture that comes to mind for me is from the Old Testament prophet Habakkuk. Habakkuk was sick and tired of looking at the injustices of his society, so he cried out to God. Listen to what he says in Habakkuk 1, verses 2 through 4. O Lord, how long shall I cry out for help, and you will not hear, or cry to you violence, and you will not save? Why do you make me see iniquity, and why do you idly look at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me. Strife and contention arise. So the law is paralyzed and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous, so justice goes forth perverted. Man, I can relate to that. How long must we cry out for help, for justice? How long do we have to watch the Black community get their rights trampled? How long will we continue to judge people by the color of their skin and not the content of their character? How many more videos do we have to see? How many more injustices are going to happen without even a video? How many more buildings must be burnt down? How many business owners will have to watch their livelihood get trashed? When will there be justice and when will there be peace? How long, O Lord? I don't have the answers to all those questions. But what I do believe is that the problems that we're seeing are spiritual problems. I don't want to be dramatic, and you guys know that's not me, but I truly believe this whole mess is satanic in its origin. And so I think the church is going to have to step in and be a part of the solution to these problems. The world at its worst needs the church at her best. We are the ones who will speak up and call out the injustice. We are the ones who should raise our voice for the immigrants and the poor and the marginalized communities. We are the ones who will engage the hearts of people and point them to Jesus. So I'm going to pray and fast for 3 days, and I would ask you to join me. Let's not be reactionary. Let's first stop and pray and seek the Lord and see where he leads us. Secondly, right after the Ahmaud Arbery killing a few weeks ago, I reached out to a friend of mine who's a Black pastor here in town, and I was like, hey man, can we get together and talk about this? I'm getting together with him this week to have a conversation about race in Richmond and in the church and the way forward. We will be recording that and putting that out there for everyone to see in the next 2 weeks. Please check that out on our YouTube channel when you can. And finally, we will be coming back to all of this. We will talk about it some next week in this series. We have a mission as a church to reach people for Jesus because we truly believe he is the only hope for this very broken world.